Afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to the orientation session of IIT JAM Economics 2025 paper, beta. So, today we are going to go ahead and discuss everything related to IIT JAM Economics. I will go ahead and tell you what is IIT JAM Economics, क्या होता है IIT JAM Economics, who is eligible to go ahead and give the exam of IIT JAM Economics, what is the cutoff for IIT JAM Economics previous years, what is the syllabus of IIT JAM Economics, and at last we will be talking about the upcoming batch that we will be starting for the year 2024-25 IIT JAM Economics paper. So we will also be going ahead and talking about this. ठीक है बेटा? Okay, let's quickly start the session. At the end, I will be taking all the doubts that you have related to IIT JAM. So you can go ahead, you can post your doubts in the chat section. And towards the end, I will go ahead and I will take all of those doubts also. Right, beta? So let's try and understand first of all, what is IIT JAM Economics paper? So basically, IIT has since 2021 started its entrance exam in the field of economics. Earlier, IIT was only known for the field of science, right? But now we have Masters in Economics program at IIT as well. And therefore, since 2021, IIT has been organizing all India exam, right? Joint entrance exam, which is there for students to go ahead and to take admission in master's program in IIT. तो जो भी बच्चे मास्टर्स इन इकोनॉमिक्स करने में इंटरेस्टेड हैं आईआईटी से वो आईआईटी जैम इकोनॉमिक्स का एग्जाम दे सकते हैं. As we know, IIT is one of the most premier institute. एक बहुत ही बढ़िया इंस्टीट्यूट है with excellent placement opportunities and excellent extracurricular activities. आईआईटी में बहुत अमेजिंग विजिटिंग फैकल्टीज आती हैं जो बहुत अच्छे लेक्चर्स डेडिकेट करती हैं बच्चों को ऑन इकोनॉमिक्स. So therefore, if you want to go ahead and get yourself a master's degree from a prestige institute, then this is the exam that you should be aiming for, right? Okay, beta. Now, when we talk about the year 2021, तो उस साल आईआईटी में सिर्फ दो ही इंस्टीट्यूट्स थे जो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे थे. We only had two institutes participating in the year 2021, and that was IIT Delhi and IIT Roorkee, right? But with the time, other IITs have also become a part of IIT JAM Economics paper. And now we have in 2023, that means last year, IIT Kanpur also joined this participating list. ठीक है, उन्होंने भी अब अपने यहाँ पर मास्टर्स इन इकोनॉमिक्स का एग्जाम स्टार्ट कर दिया. In fact, many of our students, many of the Artha Point students are sitting today in IIT Kanpur. They have completed their first year of masters in economics. And my students tell me how beautiful their experience has been in IIT Kanpur. So पिछले ही साल, last year, IIT Kanpur also started taking admission on the basis of your IIT JAM paper. But try to understand that after IIT gives its score, तो IITs के पास एक ऑप्शन रहता है कि do they want to take admission for students directly on the basis of score, or do they want to go ahead and take a second round, right? So do they want to go ahead and take a second round? तो last year IIT कानपुर ने क्या किया था, on the basis of the score of students, IIT कानपुर ने एक कट ऑफ डिटरमाइन कर दी थी, and all students who were above the cutoff, they were asked for coming for the second round, right? So this can also happen in some IITs, and therefore this will require additional practice. क्योंकि अगर आप कट ऑफ क्लियर कर लेते हो, if you clear the cutoff, then you have to go ahead and give one more exam, and for this you have to again do practice. so that you can clear that exam, right? Additionally, beta, this is not permanent, but IIT Delhi can also launch its additional seats and take admission on the basis of those extra seats. For those extra seats, IIT Delhi can go ahead and take an additional exam, again for which you have to go ahead and prepare separately. तो अभी तक हमने क्या देखा? As of now in 2021, there were two IITs, IIT Delhi and IIT Roorkee, taking admission on the basis of IIT JAM. उसके बाद 2023 में we had the coming up of IIT Kanpur. IIT Kanpur, IIT JAM का score तो लेता है, whatever you do in your entrance exam, but after that it does not directly take admission based on the score, but rather it goes ahead and it does a second round, and then if you clear that second round, you can go ahead and get admission in IIT Kanpur. Okay, beta. Now let's go ahead and let us talk about the seats that are there in various institutes in your IIT MSc Economics subject. तो आप देख सकते हो that in IIT Delhi we have 25 seats and in IIT Roorkee we have 33 seats. And these seats have remained unchanged since 2021. So 21, 22, 23, 24, we have 25 seats in IIT Delhi and 33 seats in IIT Roorkee. But this is the seat matrix for our IIT. So if you can go ahead and see in IIT Delhi, this is the break off. You have 9 seats in general, 1 in PWD, 2 in EWS, 7, 4, and 2. And this is the breakup of seats in IIT Roorkee. Right, beta? So in total, if I just go ahead and do, we have 25 plus 30 seats in these two IITs. This is as of 2021, but as I have told you that the seat matrix has remained more or less the same. So even in 2022, IIT Delhi 25 seats, IIT Roorkee 33 seats. Even in 2023, IIT Delhi 25 seats and IIT Roorkee 33 seats, right? So this is the seat distribution for the two IITs that take direct admission on the basis of IIT JAM score. But this is for the latest one, that is on the basis of 2024. That means जो बच्चों ने इस साल पेपर दिया है, this is the latest seat distribution of IIT Delhi and IIT Roorkee. And as you can clearly see that again we have 25 seats in IIT Delhi and we have 33 seats in IIT Roorkee. Okay. अब सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन आता है, व्हाट इज द सिलेबस? आईआईटी जैम का सिलेबस क्या है? व्हाट इज द सिलेबस ऑफ आईआईटी जैम इकोनॉमिक्स पेपर? लेट मी स्टार्ट बाय एक्सप्लेनिंग यू द सिलेबस ऑफ माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स फर्स्ट. बेटा लेट मी गिव यू फर्स्ट द ब्रेक ऑफ, हाँ, कि कैसे कैसे सिलेबस को हमें कवर करना है. सो ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड that in the 100 marks paper that we talk about IIT JAM, approximately 25 to 30 marks can be dedicated to microeconomics. Right? Approximately 25 to 30 marks can be dedicated to macroeconomics. Right, beta? 15 to 20 marks dedicated to maths. Right, beta? 5 to 10 marks dedicated to Indian economy. Right, beta? This is just I am telling you on the basis of the previous year papers that how the subject has been, right? So 25 to 30 marks for microeconomics, 25 to 30 marks for macroeconomics, 15 to 20 marks for maths, 5 to 10 marks for Indian economics. And we can go ahead and say that the remaining marks can be dedicated to stats. Between stats and maths, this keeps varying from year to year. जैसे if you look into the paper of 2021-22, तो maths was for 25 marks and stats was for just 15 marks. But if you look into the latest paper of 2024, you will notice that maths was for lesser marks as compared to the previous year. So this is an approximation. ये एक approximate estimate है कि कितने marks का कितना आता है. So as you can go ahead and you can see that micro and macroeconomics is the bigger chunk, right? And if you cover micro and macroeconomics dedicatedly, then actually you are covering approximately 50 to 60% of the syllabus. 50 to 60% of the syllabus gets covered when you cover micro and macro dedicatedly, right? Now let us go ahead and let us try to understand what should be covered under microeconomics. Micro में exactly हमें क्या cover करना है? Literally everything that you have studied in your undergraduation must be covered as part of the microeconomics syllabus. But let us go ahead and let us try to understand first of all the consumer theory. So consumer theory mein what all can be asked in exam? You can have questions on preferences, questions on utility, on budget line, on your compensated variation, on your equivalent variation, on your Slutsky equation, on revealed preferences. सब कुछ consumer theory में आ सकता है. So for example, we will do complicated questions like what happens when your utility function looks min of xy plus max of 2x comma y. तो हम इस utility function को कैसे solve करेंगे? We will go ahead and we will do that in class. We will go ahead and we will understand what happens to the budget line when there is a coupon given for the first 2 units, right? What happens to the budget line when I go ahead and I give you subsidy on the first 5 units? Something like this. What happens to the compensating variation and equivalent variation when your prices are increased or decreased? So all these kind of questions in the consumer theory will be covered. Okay. So for example, I will go ahead and I will give you a data set that in 2020, this was the price, this was the quantity. And in 2021, this was the price and this was the quantity. Does this data follow WARP or not? Does this data follow SARP or not? So such kind of questions on revealed preferences will also be part of your consumer theory. All such questions will be covered. So this is the first part where we are going to talk about consumer theory. But the second part that I will be talking about, that will be producer theory. Producer theory mein we will be doing production functions with both one and more than one input. So what happens if I just give you that, output is a function of one input X and I ask you to profit maximize, find the profit maximizing condition. And what happens when I give you कि output is a function of two inputs and I ask you to find the profit maximizing condition? What happens if I instead ask you to find the cost minimizing condition? All these kind of questions we will be covering in class. We will be going ahead and asking what happens if I give you constant returns to scale production function? Will you be able to find the equilibrium in that case? What happens if I give you increasing returns to scale production function? Is there any valid equilibrium in IRS production function or not? So all those kind of questions we will be covering in class. Find out the long run cost function, short run cost function. ये सारे ही क्वेश्चंस हम लोग क्लास में कवर करेंगे. The next thing that we will be focusing on will be general equilibrium, in which we will be focusing on Pareto efficiency of different type. So if I give you that, okay, utility function of individual one is lexicographic preference, lex x to y, and utility function of individual two is lex y to x. And I give you कि endowment bundle of individual 1 is 10, 0 and endowment bundle of individual 2 is 0, 10. And I ask you find competitive equilibrium. So we will be doing questions like this where I will be giving you a particular utility function of individual and I will be asking you find competitive equilibrium, find Pareto efficiency condition. I will be asking you under what condition second welfare theorem is satisfied. So ये सारी ही चीजें we will be going ahead and covering them as part of this syllabus. But the next thing that we will be focusing on, that will be market structure. So we will be focusing on perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition and oligopoly. Oligopoly mein, we will be doing all types of oligopoly. So for example, we will be talking about Cournot, Bertrand, Stackelberg, etc. And this part will be mixed with the second part where we talk about the game theory. जिसमें we will be taking Cournot, Bertrand and this in detail. तो इस केस में अब हमें ये जानना होगा, for example, in exam, I will be telling you tricks. I will be telling you that, you know what, if you go ahead and if you take a Cournot, then just by looking at Cournot, you should know that the equilibrium happens where it is A minus C by 3B, right? So we will be talking about this, that if it is two firms, तो इसका equilibrium कहाँ आता है? Just by looking into it, you should be aware of it. You should be very aware of it कि okay, if I see n firms, then how do I go ahead and how do I find the equilibrium output of each firm? तो वो जो short tricks हैं, we will be going ahead and discussing all those short tricks also in the class. So we will be talking about game theory, what is a dominated strategy, what is a dominant strategy, what is sequential game, what is the simultaneous game. All of that is part of the IIT JAM syllabus. At last, we will be talking about public economics and market failure. There is a short question that comes from this part also in the final exam. So there will be questions that will be asked on, say, number one, what happens when you have the problem of externality? Pigovian tax kaise nikaloge? How will you find out Pigovian subsidy, right? How will you go ahead and how will you ensure that the externalities problem is solved without the role of the government, right? So we will be going ahead and we will be talking about all of that also. So this is more of a microeconomics syllabus. Then we will shift our role towards macroeconomics. That is the second subject that we will be covering, right? So usually we will dedicate major time to micro and macroeconomics, as I have told you, because it is the chunk in the final syllabus. So microeconomics, beta, we are going to go ahead and dedicate approximately 2 to 2.5 months on microeconomics. We will be dedicating 2 to 2.5 months of our course on microeconomics. Okay. Then the second thing that we will be focusing on will be macroeconomics. बेटा macroeconomics को majorly हम इस तरीके से divide कर सकते हैं. First of all, we will be studying about the theory of national income. Theory of national income में we will go ahead and study कि what is national income, what are the methods to calculate national income, income method, expenditure method, what is the product method. So we will be talking about all the theory related to national income. Then after the theory of national income, we will be talking about the theory of income generation and employment. We will be talking about the theory of income generation and employment. Jisme we will be talking about, okay, what is ISLM curve? What is ADAS curve? Right? We will be talking about, okay, इन द ISLM कर्व गुड्स मार्केट कैसे एक्ट करता है, मनी मार्केट कैसे एक्ट करता है, AD कर्व कैसे डिराइव होता है, लेबर मार्केट कैसे एक्ट करता है, थ्रू लेबर मार्केट हाउ इज द AS कर्व डिराइव्ड. So we will be talking in detail about the theory of income generation and employment. And when we will be discussing the theory of income generation and employment, within that, we will go ahead and we will discuss the differences between the classical and the Keynesian approach. So we will talk about the difference between the classical and the Keynesian approach. So after the theory of national income, the second thing that I will be starting with you guys will be actually simple Keynesian cross model of income and employment, multiplier, ISLM, etc. etc. ये सब हम part second में करेंगे. Now, once we do this part, then we will shift our focus to the most asked questions. We will be talking about Phillips curve. We will be talking about Phillips curve. We will talk about Okun's law. We will go ahead and we will talk about the AS curve equation. We will talk about the expectation theory. Ki how is rational expectation there? How is adaptive expectation there? So we will be focusing our focus on the Phillips curve, on the Okun's law, etc. That means, beta, we will be talking about this part. Different theories of employment, unemployment and inflation. इसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे. Now, after we go ahead and we do this, then the next major question that can be asked will be from your consumption functions, right? It will be from what is absolute income hypothesis, what is life cycle hypothesis, permanent income hypothesis. So that becomes our next major thing that we will be focusing on. ये फोकस करने के बाद then I will shift the focus to your business cycles. So the next thing we will talk about will be your business cycles. And at last, we will take two very, very, very important topics, open economy and the growth models. So we will talk about open economy and growth models. But every year, there is a question on Mundell-Fleming model. Within the Mundell-Fleming model, we will be covering 12 cases. This is the most extensive form of Mundell-Fleming model. 12 cases हम इसके cover करेंगे in the live lectures, whereby we will take all possibilities. We will talk about what happens when there is perfect capital mobility, flexible exchange rate, perfect capital mobility, fixed exchange rate, and so on and so forth. ठीक है? So we will be taking the topic of open economy in depth and breadth. And we will be talking about all possible cases under the Mundell-Fleming model. तो जैसे ही हमने माइक्रो और मैक्रो कवर किया, आप ये एज्यूम कर लेना कि अप्रोक्सीमेटली आपका 60 आउट ऑफ 100 मार्क्स का पेपर कवर हो गया. You have covered approximately 60 out of 100 marks paper. Okay. Now, the next thing that we will be focusing on, that will be beta statistics. That will be statistics. And in stats, we can divide the entire stats in mainly 4 parts. 4 parts में हम पूरे के पूरे stats को divide कर सकते हैं. The first part is related to probability. So in probability, I will be talking about everything. So we will talk about, okay, what is Bayes theorem, independent events, exhaustive events, inclusive events, what is movements, what is, other things. So we will be talking about everything related to probability. Of course, isse pehle, we will be covering the base of stats, basics of statistics, mean, median, mode, movements, all of this. So after we cover the basics of statistics in 2-3 classes, then we will be going ahead and we will be taking our lectures on the probability part. Probability may, a lot of times, there are questions on joint probability distribution. Just say, for example, if I give you that this is a joint probability density function, 16xy, and I ask you find marginal density function, you should know what is joint, what is marginal. So we will be going ahead and we will be talking about everything related to probability in the first part of the statistics. Then second part will be related to our random variable properties, to sampling and interval estimation. How do you find confidence intervals? What is central limit theorem? What is the law of large number? And one sure short question that comes in exam, what is maximum likelihood procedure and method of movement? Fixed question that will be asked in exam from this part. Definite question will be there, right? So if I go ahead and I give you some likelihood function, right? So I give you theta I, 1 minus theta I goes from 1 to n. If I give you some likelihood function and I ask you find its maximum likelihood estimator, you should be able to go ahead and do that. So I will be talking about this as second part. In the third part, we will be going ahead and we will be doing hypothesis testing. Beta, isme se there is a fixed question and again in exam I will be telling you on type 1 and type 2 error. Every year there is a question on type 1, type 2 error. So we will be talking about type 1 and type 2 errors. And at last, we will be focusing on regression and correlation. What is OLS? What are the assumptions of OLS? What is goodness of fit? Etc. etc. We will be talking about this in depth and breadth. Okay. At last, but we will do this Indian economy. This is the most uncertain part of any syllabus where you have to cover Indian economy, right? But even this can be cracked because there are some fixed certain topics that are asked every year in exam. हर साल कुछ fixed topics आते ही आते हैं from Indian economy. One, there is a question on liberalization, privatization, globalization, also called as new economic policy. Two, there is a fixed question on your 5-year plans. Three, there is a fixed question on drain of wealth and initial national income calculation. And fourth, on some latest figures, latest human development index, latest GDP, latest inflation rate. So these are some of the fixed topics that have been asked every year from Indian economy, and therefore we must focus on these as part of the preparation. Okay, so all these topics would be covered under your Indian economy part. One thing I want to highlight here, if you will go, I will just talk about this in some while also, but if you will, at the end, when we will be better doing mock papers, and if you will do these mock papers thoroughly, you will realize that most of the important Indian economy questions would be covered from there. सब कुछ जो भी important Indian economy का है, they will be covered as part of your mock papers also, which we will be taking again. I will be talking about that in some time. Okay, beta. At last, we have the last chunk of the syllabus, which is maths. Maths is again a huge chunk of your IIT JAM syllabus, but luckily in 2024 paper we had very less maths and it was more of a micro plus macro oriented paper. This year the amount of maths that was asked was comparatively less and it was more of a micro and macro oriented paper. Still, there are some fixed topics that are asked every year from the side of maths also. Fixed topics hai, beta. Number one, there is a fixed topic that will be asked on differential equation. Number two, there is a fixed topic that would be coming from your difference equation, one question from difference equation. Number three, there is a fixed question that will be asked from vector algebra, right? In which they may ask you something about span, about bases. They may go ahead and ask you the dimension, right? So fixed question. They may ask you about eigenvector, eigenvalue. Fixed question hai. Aega hi aega. Then there will be fixed question from LPP and fixed question from function. So we know, and at last integral. So we already know what are the fixed topics that can be asked from the side of maths, right? And if you go ahead and you focus on those fixed topics only, then also I can guarantee that you will be able to do excellently well in the math side of the paper. So this is from the side of your maths beta, right? Okay. Now, let me go ahead and let me talk about the pattern of the IIT JAM Economics paper. क्या है pattern? किस तरीके का exam आता है? So it's a very simple pattern beta. Try to understand. So there are three sections. Section A, Section A, B, and C. Three sections are coming, are part of IIT JAM Economics paper. Section A में बेटा there are going to be 30 MCQs. Out of these 30 MCQs, these 30 MCQs can be divided in two parts, right? You have 1 mark MCQs and 2 mark MCQs. So you're going to have 10 MCQs of 1 mark each. That means 10 marks. And then you're going to have 20 MCQs of 2 marks each, giving you 40 marks. Right? So this is the part of section A in which you have 30 MCQs that will be asked. And in section A, in these 30 MCQs that we are talking about, there will be negative marking, right? We will have negative marking also in section A. Okay, beta. Then let's talk about section B. In section B, there will be 10, beta, 10 MSQs. There will be 10 MSQs, right? What is an MSQ? MSQ basically means multiple select question. So यहाँ पे let me write this down. There will be negative marking. In MSQ, there will be multiple select question. Like for example, बच्चे, if I go ahead and I tell you, say I give you a question like this, that the Phillips curve has the following properties, and I tell you it is downward sloping in short run, and then I tell you it breaks the relation between unemployment and inflation in long run, and then I tell you it becomes vertical in long run. Something like this. I give you 4 options. And I know that the first is correct. Yes, it is downward sloping relation between unemployment rate and inflation in the short run. And this is also correct. Yes, in the long run, this relationship breaks. This is also correct that yes, it is vertical in the long run. So in multiple select question, there will be multiple options that will be correct. Now, in this case, you have to mark all the correct options. So let's say that there are 5 correct, let's say that out of 4, there are 2 correct options and you mark only 1. Or there are 3 correct options and you mark only 2, then you will not get marks. So you have to mark all the correct options to secure marks in multiple select questions. Now there will be 10 multiple select questions that we will be having in this case. Right, beta? Okay. Now, beta, the last part that you have will be, so in total there are 60 questions. We have already covered 40. So the last part is going to have 20 NAT questions, 20 NAT questions. And in these NAT questions, again, there will be a division. So 10 NAT questions will be of 1 marks each, completing to 10 marks. And the remaining 10 NAT questions will be of 2 marks each, completing to 20 marks. And this will be of 10 questions of 2 marks each, so 20 marks. Right? So if you just see this, This is going to go ahead and come to 100 marks paper. Now, what is a NAT question? What do we mean by NAT? In NAT questions, you will not be given any option. So in NAT question, beta, there will be no option provided. Right? In a NAT question, it will be of the form of fill in the blank, right? So if I go ahead and I tell you that, okay, just take that, this is my, let me take some example else. I'm taking Phillips curve from so long. So let's say something related to utility function. Let's say I give you that the utility function is x square y, and I give you the price of good x as 1, and I give you the price of good y as 2, and I ask you to find the equilibrium x star. And this is very, very simple. We know that the equilibrium x star will be 2 by 3 into income by price of good x. I also give you some income, right? So we know that this will be 200 by 3. So in NAT questions, they will just give you a dash here. And they will go ahead and ask you to fill this blank. They will ask you fill this up with some information, right? They will not give you any option whatsoever in the NAT question. So therefore, this is how the NAT question paper will be. Am I clear with this? So in total, there is 100 marks paper, and this is a very strategic paper. आपको बहुत strategy लगाकर अच्छे से इस paper को solve करना है, because this has 1/3 negative marking. This has 2 by 3 negative marking. You don't want negative marking to get a good rank in the paper, and you will get marks here only if you select all the correct options. And here there will be no options provided. So over and above, it is a very tricky paper that you have to go ahead and do, right? And that is going to involve a lot of strategy. So wo strategy building is also required during your preparation. Now let us go ahead and let us talk about the course that Artha Point is going to start for 2025. So beta, the live classes will start towards the last week of May or the first week of June. And the reason is that we want you to first go ahead and give your 4th semester papers very well, right? So for most of the students, the paper of 4th sem ends towards the last week of May or the first week of June. And only after you have thoroughly done your 4th sem, and that's the right time to start the preparation, will we start the live classes. But that does not mean that you cannot enroll for the batch now. The enrollment for the batch has already started. And when you go ahead and you enroll for our class, you already get access to 2 material called basic and intermediate, right? In the basic and intermediate material, you get access to good, extremely good, and tons of videos in which you go ahead and you clear your basic concepts, whether it is related to micro, whether it is related to macro, whether it is related to maths, whatever base is required for you to go ahead and attend the actual live classes, you will go ahead and get access to those basic videos from now onwards only, right? So you will go ahead and get them exactly the day you enroll for the course, which can be right now, right? So if you think that, you lack the basics, or if you think that you haven't prepared well in the 2 years of your college life, or you think that you still need some kind of revision, then you can go ahead and take a kickstart a bit early, get access to this material, and you can go ahead and start preparing from now onwards only. But the actual classes will start only towards the last week of May or the first week of June. That is when we will go ahead and we will begin with the actual classes. Now, whether you are part of the live batch or you are part of the recorded batch, the content that you get is exactly the same. The only thing that differs is that in live batch, 5 days a week, you will get access to the live classes. So every day we will meet you from 7 to almost 8 to 8:30 p.m. It usually is 1 hour to 1.5 hour class. So we will meet you 5 days live every day, and we will go ahead and cover the course live in the class. Now, whatever course will be covered live in the class will also be available later for the recorded batch students in case you're going for a recorded batch. It is my high suggestion, highly I recommend it to go for a live batch, because in this there is an interaction that you do with me. So it helps you to go ahead and kind of get more understanding about the subject, right? You should be going for a recorded batch only if you think that you have some constraint during these hours. Maybe you will not have access to the laptop, or you think that maybe you're also doing some kind of internship or some kind of job during this time, and therefore you may not be able to go ahead and study at the same time, right? Because some people take a drop and then they study, so they may go for a recorded batch. But if you are currently in your fourth sem, it is my suggestion that you go ahead for the live batch over the recorded batch, right? Now, the good thing about the course is that every week on Saturday and Sunday, we will be giving you weekly test, right? So whatever we have covered in the 5 days, you will be gonna, you will be given a weekly test based on that, right? And we call them as WPP, weekly practice test, weekly practice paper. So every week you will be given WPP, on which we will be going ahead. Yes, beta, we will be covering GATE very, very soon. So we will be going ahead and we will be taking test for the syllabus that has been covered in that week. Okay. Now, in 1 week, you will be covering 2 subjects simultaneously. So we will be covering microeconomics and maths simultaneously, and that will go alternatively. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we will be going ahead and we will be covering microeconomics. And every Tuesday and Thursday, we will be going ahead and we will be covering mathematics. But this is just the starting. Usually what happens is, as we deep delve into the syllabus and say we are towards the month of August end or September, you will see me more often. You will see me on Saturdays also, very often. So we increase the number of classes. You will maybe see me on Sunday also. We increase the number of classes as and when required. So this is not a fixed thing कि सिर्फ हम Monday to Friday मिल रहे हैं. Sometimes you will see me all 7 days. I will be teaching you something or the other on all 7 days. So don't worry, we will be there with you till the very end. You will also be given hard copies or reference books per se. You will be given assignments. You will be given e-notes, workbooks, question bank. Most important, beta. You will be given a big recorded question bank, which you can go ahead and use for the purpose of practice. You will be given all past year solutions of IIT JAM Economics. अभी तक जितने IIT हुए हैं उनके सारे क्वेश्चंस के recorded past year solution will be given to you. You will be given something which is known as mock test series. So those students who enroll for our course, they will go ahead and get access to 10 mock papers, right? In these 10 mock papers, you will be given recorded solutions, right? So you will be given recorded solution of these mock papers. So each mock paper will have 60 questions, and 60 into 10, you will be given 600 recorded questions and solutions. And these will be very useful for your final exam preparation, right beta? इस mock paper को हम बहुत seriously लेते हैं in Artha Point. So at Artha Point, so you are given a proper date sheet that we release, and using that date sheet, you have to go ahead and sit for these mock papers. Okay, beta. Then we will also have marathons towards the end. For students who have been continuously following us on YouTube, you know that we have been the only institute to go ahead and start the marathon and to take the marathons very seriously. So before any entrance exam, we are going to go ahead and we are going to do multiple series of marathons, and these marathons will help you revise all the concepts that you have been taught. Okay. Okay, beta. So this is how the portal actually goes ahead and looks. You can clearly go ahead and see that different subjects are aligned on the portal: micro, macro, mathematics, statistics. Within the portal, you can clearly go ahead and see that after every lecture, you will see some activity or some homework given to you. So you can see that here we have the lecture on 10 principles of economics. And just this is the topic of name of the sub chapter. And these are the lectures under that chapter. And these are the activities provided for you to be done. Now, you can see that after this comes under the basic level of microeconomics. And after the basic level of microeconomics, then comes the intermediate level of microeconomics. And within the intermediate level, you can see almost more than 20 chapters under intermediate economics. So you will be able to see all possible topics: budget line, choice, you will be able to see revealed preference, Slutsky, etc., etc., etc. Jitne possible variant ke topics hai, you will be going ahead and looking at all of those as part of the intermediate level. So within the intermediate level, as you can see, the first topic is budget line. And within budget line, these are all the sub lectures of budget line, right, that we will be going ahead and covering. So over and all, beta, we can go ahead and we can say that in the next 1 year that you are going to be there with me, we will be doing a very thorough revision. We will be going ahead and we will be discussing everything. We will be starting by taking the syllabus, and then we will move one step ahead, and then we will be doing marathons with you. Then I will be telling you a date sheet and I will be doing mock test with you. We will be going ahead and taking multiple practice questions in class. We will be doing weekly practice tests with you, right? So all of this would be covered with you in the next 1 year. And it would be to the extent that maybe you will get bored from me. You will say ki ma'am kitna zyada often hame dikhti hain. But don't worry, I will be there with you till the end, and I think I will be meeting you very, very often in the next 1 year, that you know of your journey of clearing the IIT JAM Economics paper. For maths part, beta, we prefer that you stick to the MME books. So you can follow two major books. You can go for Sater and Hammond, and you can go for AC Chiang. These are two of the books which are actually based on mathematical economics, and these are good books to be followed. So you can go ahead and follow those books. Similarly, let me give you the reading list for others too. So for microeconomics, you can follow Varian and you can follow Snyder. For macroeconomics, so for macro now, there is no single book which covers everything. So you need to follow some part from Dornbusch and some part from Blanchard and some part from Salvatore for open economy, right? And then for statistics, you can follow DeVore and you can follow S.C. Gupta. For Indian economy, again, there is no single book. You can follow some parts of Uma Kapila, right? Or Ramesh, but Ramesh Singh, but there is no single book which does justice to Indian economy. Some part of NCRT class 11th also can be followed for Indian economy. So majorly, this is the book list that can be followed for your preparation of IIT JAM Economics. Okay, so is there anything else? Any question anyone has? Anything you would want me to answer? So very soon I will be taking another session with you in which I will be going ahead and thoroughly discussing GATE economics preparation for the year 2025. And if you still have any doubt, then feel free to contact us. And our contact number is 8 936866950. So this is our contact number. You can contact us anytime, and we will be more than happy to go ahead and take your doubts. You will be in contact with Rohit sir, who will be taking all your doubts throughout the year, whether it is related to filling up of the form, whether it is related to going ahead and understanding which colleges to sit for, whether it is going to be related to any part of counseling. You can go ahead, you can contact on this number, and you can get all the valid information from this number, right? And as far as the course is concerned, then I will be going ahead and I will be taking micro, macro, stats, and Indian eco, plus international eco, dev eco, and Arzoo Ma'am. And Arun sir would be taking maths with you, right? So Arun sir has an immense experience of more than 20 to 25 years in the field of mathematics. So he will be taking maths with you, and I will be going ahead and I will be taking these subjects with you. So I hope to see you soon in the live lectures. And till then, all the very best for your fourth semester exam, and do very well in your second year of economic honors. Right, beta? Okay, beta. Thank you.